It's the opposite of what, like the paleo, what people are taught. Almost every diet out there is wrong. Doesn't make any sense at all. They're appealing to people's desire to go after a gimmick, a fad, a hook, a trick, right? Eat more food and still be thin. Eat whatever you want. All the bread and all the crap you want. Stuff yourself and still be thin. Isn't that what the message is, right? Take this magic pill, or do this combination of cutting out fat or cutting out, eat more protein, eat less protein, eat low fat, control just one macronutrient, get the other three, all these crazy things. Be a ketogenic diet. That's going to make you live longer, right? Because you're going to be not eating any glucose and you're going to be restricting all sugar, and it's going to put your body in an acidotic state to increase the aging process and age tissues. And so, but it's okay. It's a gimmick or a fad because it cut your weight down a little bit because it raised your metabolic rate. Insanity. Almost every diet is insane out there, except this is simple, right? Simple, straightforward. People don't like this message, though. They don't like the message, eat healthy, and you're going to live longer, right? They don't want to have to eat healthy. They want a gimmick or a trick. They'd rather eat all the meat you want, but you're going to be fine because we poured it with coconut oil. We fried it in coconut oil. You're going to be fine now. But it's a special type of coconut oil you have to buy. The high MCT coconut oil with another $500 worth of supplements you're going to take. All right, forget it. I got to keep going on the lecture. Stop interrupting me. Because here's what you got to know. Raw vegetables show the best association with protection against cancer. The more raw vegetables, in other words, we're talking here about raw greens, raw, onions, tomatoes, all these things, celery, cucumber, all the things you put on a salad. And I tell people, my mantra is, you have to have a big salad at least once a day. That's it. You got to eat a big salad at least once a day. Raise your hand if you eat a big salad at least once a day. Oh, great. And what do you have to put on the salad? You have to put on the salad, somebody said nothing. Wrong. Because if you put nothing on the salad, you absorb 1/10 the amount of anti-cancer phytochemicals. 1/10. You have to put a healthy fat source on the to absorb the phytochemicals. No, nuts and seeds. Let me explain. Number one, you're supposed to put some raw cruciferous vegetable on the salad, like some watercress or arugula or shredded cabbage or shredded kale. That's number one. Not nothing. On top of that, lettuce and tomatoes is some raw cruciferous stuff shredded there too, because that gives you those ITCs to prevent cancer. Number two, you want to put some raw allium family on there. The allium, like raw scallion or raw red onion on the salad too. That's a very powerful anti-cancer substance. You want to put that on there too. Number three, you want to eat at that meal some fat source, at least a half an ounce to an ounce of a fat source, at least half an ounce of nuts or seeds, because these are fat-soluble compounds. And you make your salad dressing not with oil, but maybe it's tomato paste or tomato sauce with almonds and sunflower seeds and some black fig vinegar, and a splash of, maybe it's some delicious, so you're getting your nuts and seeds to facilitate the absorption of the phytochemicals. Maybe it's the orange cashew lemon dressing with like a little toasted sesame seeds and cashew nuts mixed with a peeled orange and a squeeze of lemon and some blood orange vinegar. Maybe it's all these delicious dressings. I'm a master at making these things taste incredible. 30 years of making great recipes, but the key is you want to take in some nuts and seeds with your meal, and you want to eat the nuts and seeds with the meal that has the most anti-cancer phytochemicals, because the nuts and seeds facilitate the absorption of those anti-cancer chemicals by tenfold. Did you follow that? So raw vegetables protect. The WHEAL study, the Women's Healthy Eating and Living study, showed that women who already had breast cancer, the more green vegetables they ate, the lower their risk of breast cancer recurrence was, the longer they lived, right? More than any other parameter, it was the vegetable consumption that determined how long they lived. It's how much vegetables you eat, right? The vegetables protect the DNA. The methylation defects accumulate when you smoke cigarettes. But in the Fiji Islands, where they smoke like fiends, they don't get much lung cancer because their diet is so high in green vegetables. I'm not encouraging the smoking of cigarettes, but I'm just demonstrating how protective green vegetable consumption is. And look at Korea, where they had 1/8 the amount of breast cancer that we did in America back in 1988. And then, in 20 years later, the rate of breast cancer in Korea went up by 500%. What happened to the Korean diet that made the breast cancer rate spike by 500% in 20 years? Well, they adopted a more American diet. So, in 1978, 10 years before we started to spike, and it takes like 30 years to really see the effects, but they were eating very low levels of animal products. They were only eating 6.5% of calories from animal products in 1978, but they went up to 16%. That's about half of what we're eating. It still increased that from when they went from about 6% to 16%, the rate of breast cancer went up by 500%. Their oil consumption went up from 1.5% to 12%, and they were already eating a lot of white rice already, but when they started to put the sugar on top of the white rice and the oil on top of the white rice, and they ate more sugar, then you had the cumulative effect of all the extra damage. It pushed them over the tipping point, right? And cancers exploded there. The major cause of breast cancers, we're talking about this, is insulin, with a high sugar diet, an IGF-1 from a high protein diet. If you really want to give somebody cancer, here's how you do it. You give them foods that hormonally raise insulin and IGF-1 simultaneously. So you give them a burger that has the white bread and the meat at the same meal. You give them macaroni and cheese, pizza. We give them the hero, the meatball and spaghetti. We give them American-style food, which is maximally designed to promote cancer. What, is it anything surprising? We don't have an epidemic of cancer in this country? We're doing what the scientific studies show caused. And then we give women estrogen. The most powerful, the reason why cancer rates have gone down in the last 20 years is why? Why have cancer rates gone down in the last 20 years? Because doctors stopped prescribing as much estrogen and people aren't smoking as much. It's not the medical profession didn't do anything to lower the cancer rate. It's not the magic pills and the chemotherapy that's making cancer rates go down. It's the fact that less people are smoking and doctors stopped prescribing as much dangerous drugs as they were prescribing. You follow me? They're still promoting a lot of dangerous drugs. Antibiotics promote cancer. Statins promote aggressiveness of the breast cancer. Calcium channel blockers, studies show that women taking blood pressure medications more than 10 years dramatically increases the risk of cancer, doubles the risk of getting breast cancer. And folic acid supplementation. Certain drugs you take in supplements cause cancer. And one of the most dangerous cancer-causing habits almost all Americans do is take folic acid, which is not the same biological compound as the folate that's in green vegetables and beans and natural plants. It's a petrochemical that has a different biological effect that aggressively promotes cellular proliferation and cancer. And people are taking nutritional yeast with folic acid that's added to it, not realizing that's a cancer-promoting substance. People are taking pills, prenatal vitamins with folic acid, not realizing they're causing cancer in themselves and increasing the child's risk of breast cancer and childhood cancer at the same time. Did you follow that? The word folate comes from the Latin word foliage, means it's very prevalent in all vegetables and greens. It's not something we're missing in our diet that we need to take a pill for it. You know that what we're doing here? We're creating an epidemic of breast cancer and childhood cancers. We're causing childhood learning disabilities and attention disorder and autism because doctors are giving people folic acid pills. Because instead of telling women they have to eat green vegetables, which protect against childhood cancers and infection and autism and give a healthy child, instead of that, they give them a pill. You don't have to eat the green vegetables. Don't worry about that. Just live at McDonald's. Take this folic acid pill so you don't get birth defects. What kind of insanity is that? You know what I'm saying here? I'm saying that the eating at McDonald's causes birth defects and childhood cancer, and the lack of green vegetables causes childhood cancer, and the folic acid causes childhood cancer. We created an epidemic of childhood cancer because doctors want to give people a pill solution to everything instead of making sure people eat right. People say, well, don't you need folic acid to prevent birth defects? Oh, come on. Did they have... You follow what I'm saying now? You don't need folic acid to prevent birth defects when you're eating a healthy diet. And if you're not eating a healthy diet, you're missing a lot more than you're going to get from just folic acid. You're missing thousands of phytonutrients to protect you and the baby. You might as well get the folic acid from the way they're sourced, that nature designed you to get it, from real food. And these foods are powerfully protective against cancer, powerfully protective, right? The onions and the garlic and the berries and the green vegetables, because they inhibit tumors from growing. You know, they're natural angiogenesis inhibitors.